Hear you, Pam. What'd you say?
I'm ready when
I'm
you are.
ready.
Okay. Okay, Pam, we're ready. Good morning, everyone. Today is October 22nd. Hard to believe it is 9 a.m. and we're going to start the Missouri Transportation Finance Corporation meeting. Madam Secretary, will you please call the roll?
Commissioner Smith,
Present.
Commissioner Ecker,
Present.
Mr. Martin,
Present.
Mr. Smith,
Present.
Mr. McKenna,
Present.
Mr. Morris, Brenda Morris,
Good morning. Present.
Michelle Kratzer.
Present.
We have, and Commissioner Waters is absent, so we have a quorum.
Thank you, Pam. Well, good morning, everyone. The first item on the agenda is an action item. It's consideration of the minutes from the August 24th, 21 regular meeting. Has everyone had a chance to review those?
I move that we approve them.
Second.
I have one question.
Yes, sir. Go ahead, Kelly.
On page 20, under assets, the narrative, is there possibly a typo there where it said in the second sentence, at June 30, 21, net loans receivable were $5 million more than June 30, 20? Isn't it the other way around? Isn't it $5 million less?
Brenda, I have a question for you.
It is. I'll double check that real quick here.
Okay, she'll look there, Kelly, and let us know here.
Okay.
Page 20,
No
you're
problem.
saying?
Yeah,
It is
page
correct.
20.
Of the financial statements of the audit report, that is correct. You are correct. It should be less than.
Yeah, it should be less than.
Yes, you are
2020.
correct.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Okay, Pam, you'll.
So Commissioner Smith, that is not part of the minutes though. That is the financial report, so we can still proceed on voting on the minutes.
Okay, so we need to go ahead and vote. We need to vote on the minutes then, okay? All in favor of the approving the minutes? Aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Minutes are approved. Okay, so I think this is what you were talking about, the first item. Our first item is an action item, is fiscal year 2021 financial statement audit. Amanda Schultz from Williams Keeper. Good morning, Amanda.
Good morning. Brenda, Todd, I didn't know if you all wanted to say anything first. If not, we'll just go ahead and get started.
Amanda, you can go ahead and lead the discussion. Thank you.
Okay. I will share my screen and pull up our summary report. Good morning again, everyone. I'm Amanda Schultz. I am an audit partner at Williams Keepers. And joining me on the call today is Josh Davis. He's one of our audit seniors, and he was the in charge on the corporation's audit this year. So I'm going to attempt to share my screen here. Can everyone see this summary report that's pulled up? We recently completed our audit of the corporation's financial statements as of and for the fiscal year that ended June 30th, 2021. We appreciate the opportunity to perform the audit as well as to present our summary report to you all today. The first report is the Annual Comprehensive Financial Report, or the ACFR. MTFC prepared an ACFR again this year, which contains substantially more information than that required by generally accepted accounting principles, or GAAP, and is a sign of excellence in financial reporting. We'll just be focusing on the financial section, but the ACFR also includes an introductory section on pages 7 through 12 and a statistical section on pages 40 through 48. MTFC has received the GFOA certificate for 13 years and expects to receive it again for this year's ACFR. So again, a sign of excellence in financial reporting and putting this package together. So the financial section of the ACFR is found on pages 15 through 28. The corporation's ACFR contains the annual financial statements for the fiscal years ended June 30th, 2021 and 2020, along with our report on those financial statements. At the bottom of the first page of the summary report, some highlights from the financial statements are that we issued an unmodified or a clean opinion on the financial statements. In our opinion, the financial statements are presented fairly in all material respects in accordance with generally accepted accounting principles. This is the best opinion that you can get, and it means that the users of your financial statements can rely on them. I'm going to move to the top of page 2 of the summary report. We did use our judgment in determining how to audit MTFC again this year. We performed a risk assessment process by reviewing balances, transactions, processes, and controls, and focused our attention on areas where the financial statements could be misstated. So really just a reminder, this means that we did not audit every balance or every transaction, but we did enough work in order to be able to give that unmodified or clean opinion on the financial statements. There is a table here in the summary report that summarizes the highlights from the financial statements as of and for the fiscal years ended June 30th, 2021, 2020, and 2019. There is an MD&A, the Management's Discussion and Analysis, on pages 19 through 22 in the ACFR, which discusses the changes in the various categories. And as was mentioned previously, the loans balance did decrease by $5 million in fiscal year 21, not increase. So I'm sure we'll get that change made in the ACFR on page 20 that was referred to earlier. The corporation's audit is also performed in accordance with U.S. generally accepted government auditing standards. As a result of following those standards, we issued an additional report covering internal control and compliance related to the corporation's financial reporting. That report can be found on pages 50 and 51. It basically states that we did not identify any material weaknesses over financial reporting, and we performed tests of compliance related to the provision of laws, regulations, contracts, and grant agreements, and our tests disclosed no instances of non-compliance. So that is another clean letter there. As a result of our audit, we also issued an auditor's communication letter. This letter consists of comments about the audit process and its results that we are required by our professional standards to communicate to the governing board of an organization, and for the corporation, the board of directors serves that role. Just a few highlights from that letter. We did not note any transactions during the fiscal year that we considered both unusual and significant. Also, there were no changes in accounting policies during fiscal year 21. This means that nothing was required to be accounted for or reported differently in the financial statements in the current year. As part of the audit, we evaluated significant estimates in the financial statements to determine that they were reasonable in relation to the financial statements taken as a whole. The most significant estimate affecting the financial statements continued to be the allowance for uncollectible loans receivable this year. The financial statement disclosures are neutral, consistent, and clear, and all required disclosures to support the financial statements are included in the notes. We found the accounting records to be in good order and proposed no audit adjustments as a result of our procedures. And we had no disagreements with management on accounting or auditing issues, no difficulties in performing our audit, and we felt we received full cooperation from the corporation staff. So a big thank you to Todd and Sam and their team. Are there any questions about this summary report, about the audit process in general, anything we can answer for you today?
Any questions or comments for Amanda?
I have one question, Kelly Martin here. On page 20, the interest receivable on loans and investments that dropped from 19 and 20 to 21, I'm assuming that is a combination of the fact that loans were repaid and also further increases in the interest rate on the investments. Is that correct? A combination of the two?
The
Yes,
drop in net loans receivable is because more loans got paid off, and we only had 2 loans approved in fiscal year 21.
Right, but I was questioning the interest receivable, and that 5.8 million, of course, that when those loans got paid back, that would have affected our interest somewhat, but it went from 522 million in 19 to 477 in 20 to 287 in 21. So interest rates have probably bottomed out here in 21, and even though they were low in 2020 and 2019, but I'm saying, is that a combination of both loans repayment and lower interest rates on investments?
Yes, you are correct.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Brenda. Any other questions for Amanda or comments?
I would just like Sam Bearhorse, who leads our financial reporting section, is on the phone or is on the meeting today. And I would just like to recognize her and her team for the work that they have done on this audit.
Thank you, Brenda. Yeah, everybody does a good job. Williams Keepers has done it for a long time for us, and they do a great job. So with that, I would entertain a motion to accept the fiscal year 2021 financial statement audit.
So moved.
Have
Second.
a motion and a second.
Martin, second.
Thank you, Kelly. That doesn't need a roll call, does it?
No roll call is necessary, just a voice vote.
That's what I thought. Okay, all in favor of the motion, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Pose same sign. Pose same sign. Motion carries. Amanda, thank you very much.
All right. Thank you all for your time this morning.
Thank you. The next item is an action item. It's a fiscal year 2022 audit services contract. Todd Grosner will present that. Todd, good morning.
Good morning, sir. Thank you. Yeah, the fiscal year 22 audit services contract. Our current contract with Williams Keepers for our audit services is for 3 years, and then it had 2 one-year renewal options for a total of 5 years. We just ended year 4, so we've been very pleased with their services, and we would like to exercise the second and final one-year renewal option for the next year's FY 2022 audit. The one-year renewals, they have a maximum increase of 5%, which would be about $583. We've been able to negotiate that with them though, and we really haven't had that increase. The actual from 20 to 21, even though they could have increased at 5%, we were able to keep that flat. Not going to guarantee I can keep it flat, but that's where I'm going to start to try to keep it at the same amount so there will be no increase. We recommend your approval to authorize Brenda or myself to negotiate the audit fee and execute the second and final one-year renewal option with Williams Keepers for the FY 2022 audit.
Thank you, Todd. Any questions?
So moved. This is Jim Smith.
Okay, have a motion to approve the audit services contract. Second, anybody?
Second.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor of the motion, signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you, Todd. Floor is still yours. Next is an action item. City of Poplar Bluff, MTFC loan request number 1.
Yeah, in May 2020, the city was approved for a 10-year loan for $8,781,000 for phase 1 of the Route 67 reconstruction project. This is a governor's transportation cost share project, adding lanes to make that a divided multi-lane highway from Route 160 south to County Road 338, a distance of 2 miles south of Poplar Bluff there. The city has come back and requested that they amend the term of the loan from 10 years to 15 years. Based on the loan policy, any loan more than 10 years requires a pre-approval by the executive director, Brenda Morris. They did receive that pre-approval on August 27th. This loan will be paid off by September 1st, 2035. And that would be the same date that the next loan we'll be talking about will be paid off. The reason why they're doing this is now they're coming forward, as you'll see the next agenda item, is phase 2 to continue this project another 2 miles down. By amending this from 10 to 15 years, it makes the coverage ratios look better, and it makes sense now that they're packaging both these projects together. The loan amount and the original interest rate will remain the same. So all we're really doing here is just stretching this out from 10 to 15 years. And we recommend approval of the city's request to amend the term of the loan from 10 to 15 years for this loan.
Todd, is this outer road that affected that convenience store? Is that what this loan was, or are you familiar with that?
No, this is actually Route 67 as it comes down out of Poplar Bluff. They're wanting to 4-lane that all the way to the Arkansas border. And so this is just the first phase of that, the first 2 miles to 4-lane 67 south of Poplar Bluff.
Okay, good. Any questions for Todd, comments?
I move that we approve the extension.
Have a motion from Commissioner Eckert to approve. I have a second.
I second it.
Is that you, Michelle?
No, it's Brenda.
Brenda, okay. I'm sorry, Brenda. I have a motion and a second to extend the Poplar Bluff loan from 10 to 15 years. All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Loan is approved. Okay, item number 4, action item. Todd, City of Poplar Bluff.
Yeah, this is one of those projects we've been talking about on our executive director's report as a potential loan that has come forward now. Loan request of $9,535,262. This is a MoDOT cost share project. Just to continue the previous loan, this picks up at County Road 338 and continues another 2 miles south to continue the 4-laning of Route 67. We refer to this as phase 2. This loan represents about 58% of the total project costs. The remainder comes from MoDOT cost share funds of about $5.1 million, and then the MoDOT Southeast District funds of approximately $1.8 million for the design and construction services. Term of the loan is 14 years, which you don't normally see loans for 14 years, but they're trying to match it up to match the one we just previously approved. So both of these will be both paid off on the same date in 2035. Again, it requires approval from the executive director, anything more than 10 years, and they did receive that from Brenda on August 27th. The interest rate is 1.45%. It was previously mentioned that our interest rates are pretty low right now, and I don't know if this is the bottom of it, but this is pretty low. Hopefully our interest rates will be going back up a little bit, but we'll see. This is based on a 14-year term with the city's credit rating from Standard & Poor's of an A. The loan will be repaid by their dedicated 1/2 cent Highway 67 sales tax that the voters passed down there that can only be spent on this project. This averaged about $2.5 million per year for the last 3 years. So there's plenty of revenue to cover this debt service payment. So we recommend approval of the city's loan request.
Thank you, Todd. Any questions or comments?
Yeah, I'd just
Kelly.
say that the city has been a really good partner here. They've been successful in the past, and I think it should be noted that we've been pretty flexible on this, and I think that's a good thing. It's part of the rationale for having this corporation in the first place is to come to solutions so we can advance some of these projects that wouldn't otherwise be done. But this is a really good project, and I think the city is going to execute this loan agreement very well. They've got a good history with that sales tax, and I do think this is a great example of using multiple sources of funds, governor's cost share, the MoDOT cost share, and then working with the city. Brenda worked with the city and Todd did to modify the terms of the original loan, give them an indication initially that would be possible, and then that made the second loan come to fruition. So I think the department, the staff here worked really well with the city, and I'm very pleased with the outcome, and hope the rest of the members are as well.
Thank you, Patrick.
Kelly Martin.
Yeah,
Kelly
go ahead.
Martin, a question. What was the interest rate on the first loan?
2.09%. And we did, it's a good pickup there, Kelly. We did have some discussion as to whether or not that should be modified when we stretched from 10 to 15 years. And really the makeup, I think we were all comfortable, as the city was, without modification. And as you can see from the second loan, the interest rate is lower. So holding it kind of gave us the risk premium, I think, for the extension that we would have sought by not lowering the rate. I think that was a fair approach. The city seemed to be okay with that.
Okay, and that's the reason the two loans weren't merged together into one loan, I assume, or at least one factor.
Well, they'll be led as two
So-
separate construction contracts, and the Federal Highway Administration wants us to keep them separate loans as if they were a federal project. So that's why they'll have two separate job numbers, two separate contracts on
Gotcha.
them. So we'll keep them separate as loans also.
Very good. But the 10-year Treasury's was hovering around 1.45%. It's bouncing around, gone up a little bit maybe, but I don't have a problem with the interest rates.
Yeah. I think I read it went to 1.68% this morning, so it has
Okay.
gone up a bit.
Yeah, it's bounced around quite a bit, but the direction is up for sure.
Yeah, it looks like
I would-
the blended rate that we have on, if you look at these in combination, we're pretty close. We might be a little higher than the Treasury on a blended rate of these.
Right. And I assume it'll go quite a bit higher, but today that's reasonably fair. I would move that we approve this loan number 2.
Great. Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve the loan. All in favor of the motion, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Yeah, just to echo what Kelly said there, I mean, that's an awful good rate to tie it up for 15 years. Who knows what's going to happen, but they're awful good partners down there, and I'm sure Senator Lively is very happy. I know he wanted us to get this project moving forward, so it's great to see it good. I'm glad that we could help out, so thank you. Somebody else have something there? I'm sorry. Okay. Next item number 5. Todd, thank you very much. Next item is a non-action item, Executive Director's Report, Mrs. Brenda Morris. Good morning, Brenda.
Good morning. Just to give you a quick update of kind of where we are with the approval of these two loans, our low cash balance will be $37 million in August of 2023. So that is the amount we have available to loan. We have $81.6 million that has been approved but not yet dispersed. So to Kelly Martin's question about interest rates, part of the lower interest rates that we have is that we have some fairly large disbursements coming up in the next 4 years. So our investments can't go long where we would get a higher interest rate. Interest rates overall are much lower. And so the combination of that is the result of that lower interest. We have two potential loans at this time. One is with the City of Republic, and it is for improvements to Route MM and Route 60 to I-44. Which includes expansion to 5 lanes, construction of a railroad overpass, and relocation of an intersection. This is in conjunction with it's in the area of where the Amazon distribution center is down there. And at the November commission meeting, there will be an economic development project that the commission will be asked to approve. The cost share committee approved it in September. This loan is in conjunction with that. It'll be up to an amount of $10 million. We really kind of expect it to be a little less than that, but that project is getting put together, and so we expect that that will come to the board in the spring of 2022. I believe the City of Warsaw project, the loan in the amount of $2 million, I think we discussed it at our previous meeting. This is to make improvements. They have applied for a RAISE grant, and so if they do not get that grant, I think they'll be relooking at the scope of this project and the makeup of the funds that they need for this project. So more to come on that. We're anticipating that sometime in the summer of 2022. Our next MTFC meeting will be in February, and that is my report for today.
Thank you, Brenda. Any questions for Brenda or comments? Hearing none. Thank you, Brenda. Well, I believe that concludes our meeting. I don't have anything else. Madam Secretary, are we good to go?
I think we are ready to adjourn.
27 minutes, that's pretty good, so, okay. Hey, thank you guys, everyone. I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Well, I don't need.
Aye.
We're adjourned. Thank you guys. Have a safe weekend.